Zachariah. Okay, so we're ready. I didn't count through yet, so I don't want to say that it's Lamed Beis +1. So even though I don't have in mind to be Yitzhak, but anyway, but we're Lag BaOmer is upon us. I could say it. I don't have in mind to be Yitzhak, and I just want to wish. I think there's some birthdays here on schedule. Hold on a second. Let me see if I find there was an email. I don't see anything here, but if someone sent me someone's birthday today, hold on a second. There's some birthdays, but I can't see it now. Oh, here it is. Happy birthday to Brian Silverberg, if he's listening. Moshe Aaron Burstein and Yehuda Mako. Amazing. May they have, it's an English birthday. I don't know if it's a Hebrew birthday, whatever it is. Happy birthday. Many happy returns. Gesund and nachas. And a lot of Yiddish nachas, maybe share a lot of simchas together. And I don't see any other sponsorships here. So we're just going to go forward and talk a little bit about something I want to share with you, Chiddush. And of course, like BaOmer, it's almost upon us. Obviously absent of some of the bonfires, or maybe people are doing it, small, but many of us have fond memories of the years that we lived in Eretz Yisrael, learned in Eretz Yisrael, one of the very special holidays, but really it's hard to put your finger on it. What is it about? Everyone's happy, but why is everyone happy? And it seems to be across the entire scope of society, religious, non-religious. Somehow everyone comes to Meron and suddenly we all united. And somehow it has to do with Rav Shimon Yochai, obviously, Rav Shimon Yochai. Now there's a Gemara that says, very intriguing Gemara. The Gemara is in Sukkah. It says, Rav Shimon Yochai said, Yachol ani liftar es kol ha'olam min hadin. I can exempt the entire world from judgment and exempt from din. And there was some level of that because the Gemara says during all his years there was no rainbow. The rainbow reminds God, look, we deserve punishment, but you put a rainbow. That's like our caveat. So you have to hold back because you promised. But he didn't need that promise because he was able to somehow carry the all of the world with his merits. It would seem that it's his merit. So it seems a little presumptuous, and it doesn't sound like a Shimon Yochai. I mean, that's what he's talking about. Yachal ani lived as kol ha'olam. Did he mean his chus? And of course, his some learn his suffering. So how do we understand that? And the second thing we have to understand is we realize that, Mitzvah Hashem, many of us hopefully will be able to get a chance to shave or take a haircut somehow or another, by hook or by crook. And the Avelus for many of us is over at 33, like BaOmer, because the Talmidim of Rabbi Akiva died over 33 days, and Rav Shimon Yochai was of the group of 5 that rejuvenated the whole legacy of Rabbi Akiva, and he was one of his primary Talmidim. And actually, he told us Talmidim that he reflected the greatest, the choicest midas of his Rabbi Akiva. So there's something about Rav Shimon Yochai that echoed the greatest principles of Rabbi Akiva, which was V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. We know that the sin of the 24,000 Talmidim that died because they didn't honor each other. So somehow we have to find something about Rav Shimon Yochai that gives us something to hold on to. Why is it that his chus is so great? So I want to share a little chiddush that I thought about today. May the chus of Shimon Yochai and hopefully my attempt to explain some of the words and some of the essence of the Yontif and the greatness of Shimon Yochai should be a chus. It should be correct, I hope. And even if it's not correct, judge me favorably, and maybe a chus for me, my family, for all of the shul. And just as then, it was a Mageifa. The Talmidim died. It was a Mageifa. It was a plague. And the plague stopped. So may that be a Maisa of a similar banim, maybe an omen for all of us that from this day on, the plague will stop. So we sing a song. There's a song that we sing. Many of us sing it, or you hear it. And it's Bar Yochai. And the refrain is Nimshachta Ashrecha. Nimshachta Ashrecha. Shemen Sosoin Mechaverecha. Nimshachta, you were anointed, which really means figuratively, you were given greatness. Ashrecha, you're praised. Shemen Sosoin, oil of joy, mechaverecha, from your friends. So they seem to give him adulation and esteem and elevated him to a position of greatness. And that's why we keep refraining. Neshavta ashrecha, shem and sasai mechaverecha. And that's a song that you refrain. And that's Bar Yochai. So where does this come from? What is this Nimshachta Ashrecha? Where's this idea, this lotion of being anointed and Shem and Sasam Mechavrecha? So the truth is, there's a pasuk in Tillim. If you say Tillim, us Tillim Zuggers, I advise everyone to say Tillim every day. It's an old Jewish custom. It goes back till David HaMelech and probably before, because a lot of Kapitach Tillim were written by people prior to him. And in Kapitel Mem Hey, this phrase, Shemen Sasai Mechaverecha, appears. So let's analyze the pasuk. I said, let me look at the pasuk. Maybe I'll be able to figure out what's so special. What's this all about? So there's a pasuk in Tillim. The pasuk goes as follows: Ohavta tzedek, you love righteousness, vatisna resha, and hate wickedness. Al kain mishachacha, therefore you anointed has God, Elokim Elokecha, God, you has God, your God, Shemen Sasain, with oil of joy from among your peers. That somehow they showed great attribution to your great talents. Now, who's this pasuk talking about? So I looked in the Medrash, and the Medrash says this pasuk is talking about Avraham Avinu, and it says like this: amazing pasuk. Ahavta tzedek v'tisna resha. You love righteousness, and you hate and abhor wickedness. So normally it means, okay, you love righteousness, you're a good guy, and you abhor wickedness, because of that you become great. And that's why your friends give you, anoint you with greatness. What does that do with your friends? You know, that has Hashem should give it to you. So I saw in the Medrash says like this. It's amazing. The Medrash says to him, Avraham Avinu. It doesn't mean that he searched after righteousness and he abhorred and he distanced himself and he hated wickedness. He meant when he looked at every person around him, the thing that he sought to discover in every encounter with anybody that he met, Ahavta tzedek. I tried to find something positive about the person. Vatisna resha. I abhorred, I hated looking for resha, for something negative about the person. That was Avraham Avinu. And the Gemara and the Medrash brings Avraham Avinu, when it came to Sdom, he even found positive in Sdom. Chalila, Lahamis Tzaddik in Russia. And he tried to justify, okay, he wasn't successful. But that's the midah. That's the midah of Avraham Avinu. Ahavta tzedek, not stam, you want to do good and you don't want to do bad. When you look at people, never look negative. Try to find the positive. Ahavta tzedek, try to justify, try to find something right about them. Batisna resha, hate looking for something negative about a person. If you have that attitude, do you imagine how you're going to impact on the world? And that's what it means. His friends weren't just, why does Shem and Sasma Chavrecha? They were all elevated. They lived with a Rabbi, Reb Shimon Yochai, who uplifted every Talmud. He only looked for the positive. He always found the positive. It says in the Gemara, he learned Be'idra to Reb Shimon Yochai. Idra means he learned in a circle. The Gemara says elsewhere, a circle shows the quality that everyone is special. And I think that's what it means when the Gemara says, Nasa Adam Nema Bavarecha. It's part of the song. When Hashem said Nasa Adam, he meant Adam, because a person who sees all of humanity, and certainly the Jewish people, as positive, he embodies all of Klal. So that's why everyone's drawn to Reb Shimon Yochai. Because Reb Shimon Yochai is the one who sees in every Yid something positive. And that's why there's a magnet, because they feel good about themselves. And the Resha is pushed aside. Of course, we have to deal with it. And I think that's what it means. I want to read you a Rashi. So I looked at the Rashi. I was jumping when I saw this. I was so happy. The Rashi says like this. It's a little Chassidish shot, but you know, today's to celebrate desire and everything else that came with it. So we can say Chassidish Shatim. So it says like this. He says, Yachal ani lifter es kol ha'olam kuloi. I could exempt the entire world. And Rashi says the following words. B'schusi, in my merit, ani soivel kol avoynei sehem u'paytron adin. I carry their sins and exempt from them. What does that mean? We should be off the hook because Reb Shimon Yochai decided to carry the sins on his shoulder. I think it means I could absorb, I can bear their sins. I don't see them as negative. I could still see, even with all the negativity that others might see, I see the positive. The schusi and the schus, that I was able to find schus in them. I could find schus and find, I bear them, not stam, I carry their sins. I can say, I see through it. They're so much greater than the sins that they do. And that, of course, if you have an advocate, you have an Avraham Avinu, you have Rabbi, who encompasses all of us and sees and senses all the greatness in each one of us, then Hashem says, I give up, the best defender in the world, Avram and his successor of Shimon Yochai. I think that's the pshat, and that's what it means, that it was B'davka of Shimon Yochai who embodied the antidote to the Talmid and Rabbi Akiva. They probably loved each other. They were Talmid and Rabbi Akiva. You think he let them get away? They loved each other, but they looked at the negative. And maybe they even did it with a positive sense, to help them. But because they didn't have that positive eye only. V'ahavto tzedek, v'atisna resha. That's the pasuk says, Mishachacha elikim elikecha Shem says, Nimshachta ashrecha. And maybe I'll say a little chiddush shat. Nimshachta is a lashon Mashiach, is a lashon Gdula. Rashi says ashrecha, because you looked at everyone and you gave a sense of ashrecha, you're great. And because of that, Shem and Sasim Echaverecha, they rejoiced and they sat in a circle and you elevated Klal Yisrael. Amazing. I think that's Rav Shimon Yochai. Schusay Yagan Aleinu. May I be right. So I want to end up with a story about, we have to live, and obviously if we're going to conjure up the schus of Rav Shimon Yochai from so far away, and today even people who want to be there can't be there. The hundreds of thousands are no longer there, and only a few hundred, or at least that's what they claim, although in the films that I saw, it looked like a heck lot more than a few hundred. But I read a story about 10th yard site of Abba Gerelik. He was a very interesting man. His father was a yeshiva in NYU, and he had a son, Abba Gerelik, and he founded the yeshiva of South Fallsburg. And the story goes as follows. His yard site was just yesterday. Today's the yard site. Maybe it's close. I didn't realize it's today. It's today. The yard site is mamash before Shkia, but this time. 10th yard site. So he started the yeshiva in South Fallsburg, and it was all the way up in the mountains. And, in the mountains, it still is, and certainly in those days, it was, that's where everyone went. There's nowhere else to go. That's where you hung out. That's where you went for Ben Azmanim. And when the yeshiva packed out, the Talmidim, so it was yeshiva up in South Fallsburg. It wasn't like the most, fortified with a fence and security. And it was open like any yeshiva, it's open. So inevitably, over the years, in the summer, when all Talmidim left, it became like the youth hostel for Yeshiva Bakrim. And you wanted to go up and spend time in the thing. You didn't have money, or you wanted to stay overnight, or just a night. Everyone rationalized, and they would go into the dormitory and they would camp there. And they traveled. The plans of Ben Azmanim, and that's what they counted on, at least for some time. But they certainly had no permission. They didn't have any permission. And Rabbi, who was the Rosh Yeshiva, he had the unenviable task to tell him, it's not a free hostel. And besides, he said, it's not about I don't want you to be here. I can't take a chrayas for you. I'm not here. There's no supervision. How can I just leave it hefker? All right. So one year, it happened to be that the Talmidim finished his man a few days before Tisha B'Av. So meanwhile, the Talmidim packed out. And of course, the freeloaders, the young Talmidim, obviously, Kulam Ahuvin, Kulam Barurim, they heard about it. And it was a perfect, they were able to come. So he comes out, it's a Shabbos, it's right before Tisha B'Av, and he sees that there's a Bachram not from Yeshiva there. And he bothered him. But meanwhile, Tisha B'Av was already there, so he wasn't going to kick them out on Tisha B'Av. So he let them stay, and he said, they'll deal with it after Tisha B'Av. And then the story goes like this. On Tisha B'Av afternoon, Rabbi, accompanied by his young son Shmuel Yehuda, went to the town of Fallsburg to make some purchases. Rabbi visited a local store to buy fresh cake and orange juice, and then upon returning home, he took his purchase to the yeshiva kitchen. Shmuel Yehuda watched as his father carefully cut the cake and prepared platters, which he set on a table along with orange juice and ice cubes. And Shmuel Yehuda wondered, who is this food for? He said, there were no Talmid in the yeshiva, and the local families usually fended for themselves. So his father said, it's for the Bachrim who were in the dorm. Rabbi Abba explained. Shmuel Yehuda was bewildered. Said the Bachram in the dorm, the boys who had parked themselves in the dormitory had permission, but they're not supposed to be here, asked Shmuel Yehuda. But he responds and says, Aber, they darfen essen? They darfen essen? But they have to eat, responded Rabbi simply. And the article and the story concludes that speak to anyone in a position of authority who has to have been in a similar situation. Freeloaders who move into a dorm without rishus would be sent packing before they could say boo. To serve them food, that would be unthinkable, but not for Rav Abba. In the image of Rav Shimon Yochai, he had a caring heart for everyone, and he especially loved Bachrim with their flaws, without their flaws. Thus, despite their audacity and impudence, they would have fresh cake and cold orange juice to enjoy after the fast. Now, if that's not in the image of Rashbi, if that's not Nimshachta Ashrecha, is that not a Hafta Tzedek Vatisna Resh? I don't know what is. May we all implement that in every aspect of our life, whoever it may be that we come across. A Hafta Tzedek, just see the positive. Vatisna Resha, get rid of all the negativity. If we'll do that, Shem and Sasam Echarecha, the schus of Shimon Yochai, will be pater us from the din. And just like the Magefa stopped then, it'll stop now. And the Mitzvah Shem will enjoy the Yontif, and everyone should have rejoice, turn on your burners. Someone sent me a beautiful, cute little, someone here, anonymous, sent me another one of these great memes. I wish I could show it to you, but I just don't have time to find it. And it has a bunch of little menchies standing around a gas burner on. He says, "Is this like BaOmer this year?" I'm going to show it to you. It's too good to I'm here. I think I can find it, and it's really humorous to look at. We'll start off the Yontif in a positive mood. Hold on a second. I have to find my mystery. Oh man, I got to find him. He's here. Hold on. I will find him. Here it is. Where is it? Oh, here we go. This is like BaOmer for this year. Can you see it? Is it visible? Do you see it?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. Thank you, Mr. Mystery man. And all I can say is, with Hashem. Oh, there's Doobie. There's my friend, my neighbor, the Doobie. And Hashem, tomorrow we're going to continue, because tomorrow it'll still be the ebb of like BaOmer. We'll be able to. I want to say something else. Add something. Another. And meanwhile, we should celebrate, implement. We have to overcome the Magefa. And the Magefa came because Leinagu comes to death. We elevate our seeing the positive in everyone, and Mitzvah Hashem, the schus of Shimon Yochai, will warm us from his fires 1,000 miles away. Mitzvah Hashem will hot to the world from the din, and Hashem will bring Mashiach to Canaan. Amen. Next year we'll be dancing in Miron with the millions of people on like BaOmer. Okay, everybody. It's really great seeing everyone. And celebrate and be happy. And we'll talk tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem.
Where's Daf Yomi tonight?
Daf Yomi right now.
Okay.
I'm switching hats.